And you know the okay. All is one, everybody. Get on in here. Thank you guys. I see you joining. Um, just waiting for everyone to get the message, people to come and get situated. Y'all, I can't believe I'm about to do this messy ass reading. But I'm gonna do it because I'm curious myself about this phenomenon that is Charles and Netta. So I need to see how much of this is ordained and how much of it is absolute fuckery, because there's got to be a combination of both. Go get you some snacks and some tea. I actually need me some tea. Hold a moment while I place an order. Welcome, welcome, you guys. We're just giving the cousins a chance to get themselves together and get on in here. No, I'm not outside. Yes, I'm in my house. Yes, those birds are also in my house. Okay, so if you do not know, I have three parakeets. They make a lot of noise. I also have cats and dogs and children. So from time to time, you'll see all that wildlife in here. Apologies in advance. Gonna give it just a couple of more minutes, like literally 2 more minutes, and I want to start about 7:10. There will be a replay of this, so for those latecomers. Pieces of Mawari, thank you so much for your assistance behind the scenes and all that you do behind the scenes for this ministry. I really appreciate it. Y'all can't see her, but I can. She's in the backstage studio. So yeah, I'll just talk a little bit while we're waiting for people to get in here. You guys, I don't usually do celebrity readings. Y'all know that. And um, there's a multitude of reasons, but normally I just don't do celebrity readings. However, I know people like them, and sometimes I have a genuine curiosity of my own. This is one of those times. Um, Miss Netta, I cannot log on to any one of my platforms without being inundated by Netta. I even have a family chat. You know how you have your family chats? I got a family chat with churchy folks in it, and they talking about Netta in the family chat. Everybody is obsessed with Charles and Netta. And I know that most recently, the thing is that Miss Netta got roasted real good by Kaya and Rick Ross' baby mama, the lady with the teeth. I can't think of her name. And so I know that Netta's trending because of that. So what I'm going to do tonight is just look into why are we so inundated with Netta right now? How much of her success is spiritually ordained? How much of it is fool's luck? How much is of it is the fact that Netta might secretly be like some type of genius and we don't know it? Um, and really, just what's going on. I am not here to bash or shame or insult Netta. I actually was following Miss Netta way before the hate was so high. You know, you always kind of had to look at Miss Netta with your head kind of tilted, you know, like, oh, okay. Um, I always did that, but I always had a lot of respect for Netta, as I tend to have for people who live authentically and walk in their truth. And so I respect Miss Netta for that. But yeah, there's something going on. So we're gonna look at that tonight. I am well, let me introduce myself. Someone is going to edit this video and help me with it. So let me just start with um, a proper introduction. All is one reflections and peace to the gods. I am Priestess Oshun Funke Iyanifa, and I am the founder of Orisha Hoodoo Institute. Tonight, I am joined by my illustrious colleague, Dr. Quintarius Shakir, also known as Hugonzo Lacroix, and we are going to be doing a reading on the internet sensation, Miss Netta. Okay. So that's what we're doing here tonight. A little bit of a different kind of topic for me, but I am versatile. Okay. And I'm happy that you're here, those of you who are here live. And if you're catching the replay, thank you for that as well. Be sure to like this video, share it if you think it's great, and subscribe if you already haven't. So, Hugon, do you want to go first?
Yeah, hey everybody out there. How y'all doing? I'm gonna go ahead and do this reading on Miss Netta and Charles. Not really sure what you all want to know. Hey everybody in the comments. So I'm just going to say a couple of things that I know. Miss Netta is a Gemini. She is a two of spades Gemini. And then Charles is a Taurus and he's a King of Clubs Taurus, which is surprising to me because Charles comes off slow as hell, and a King of Clubs person. I'm a King of Clubs, so a King of Clubs person is usually someone that's incredibly intelligent, and sometimes just to me, Charles just. I mean, I've only seen a couple clips of him. He don't seem like he's all the way there, or I don't know. It seems like he's in another world. But I don't know the time that he was born, so I think it's a chance that he could be um, uh, the card that's the day before that, which would be the ace. I think that's the ace of spades. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't look that up. But what I do know is that the two of spades and the king of clubs is very likely that Charles is a king of clubs because the king of clubs has a two of spades karma card and the two of spades has a king of clubs karma card, meaning that those when the king of clubs encounters a two of spades person, they feel like they're meant to be together, that they're supposed to do business with each other. A two of spades is very much codependent. It's obvious that this person is codependent. Two of spades, any type of two birth card, they love to talk on the phone, they love to text, they love to send emails, they love extremely thorough communication. And they're not particularly argumentative, but they are not afraid to argue because it's a form of communication so that they can be back in unison with their partner. The King of Clubs person has a two of spades karma card, meaning that they naturally have a desire to be in a relationship or to collaborate or to be in a partnership with somebody. King of Clubs have a more subconscious need for codependency that's expressed through the two of spades being their karma card. The two of spades has a desire to become an expert in some communications field or some or in the realm of education. So um hell, Miss Netta might want to be in a relationship and then she secretly wants to be a star, and Charles knows a lot about some area of human life, and he can educate Miss Netta on it, and he has a secret, need to be codependent. I don't know. So I'm just saying that's just what I know about those two birth cards from these people. But if y'all can put it in a chat what it is that you all want to know, that would be great. Maybe Charles has a condition. I have no comment on that. Um, yeah, y'all are quiet as hell in these. I mean, I honestly can't see the comments. I don't even know how many people are on this bitch tonight. But if you're on this motherfucker, you need to put some goddamn. You need to go into the comments and tell me what's up. Um, Miss Tia don't give a fuck about anybody. She opened her mouth behind. I like Tia Kemp. I like Tia Kemp and I like Kaya. Okay, I like Tia Kemp and I like Kaya. And Tia Kemp wasn't wrong. Miss Netta did look like a tire, and Miss Netta does look like a carpet. Okay, and Miss Netta and no, she said that Shamar looks like an abstract painting. Charles is. I do believe that Charles is slow. I do. So I guess it's what we should start with. Does Miss Netta think Charles is slow? Okay, if y'all think Charles is slow, hit the snail emoji, and if you think that Charles is smart, hit the brain. If you think Charles was in gifted classes, hit the brain emoji. If you think that Charles is slow, hit the snail. Manze Leoka, Charles is slow.
Is that a fair jump?
Miss
Classes.
Hold on, I'm showing. I want to know if Miss Netta has some sort of spiritual hold on Charles. I'm not doing those types of readings. I don't care to do. I don't care to look into that type of shit. I'm just not. I'm just generally not interested in things being magical, of magical nature like that. I don't really give a damn. So if you want Oshun from K to do it, ask her. I'm not doing that shit. We're not. I'm not doing no spiritual hold. What we can look at is if that pussy good. And that's what we were looking to. The Carl's thing, Miss Netta's pussy is good. I don't give a fuck about no spiritual hold. That's what I care about. All right, what else? Are they really going to adopt? If so, how successful may they be at parenting together? Now that's some good shit. Now Andizo, you ain't shit. Manze Andizo, you ain't shit. Put in the damn snail emoji. Okay, let's look that up. Let's talk about that. Adoption. Adoption. Are they going to adopt? And what do their ancestors have to say about them adopting? Now, would you all like to watch a reality TV show on Wheat TV or on the Zeus Network of Miss Netta and Charles with their adopted children? Okay, there are rumors of Miss Netta putting roots on Charles. Is this a true assumption? I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a flying fuck. What we need to be worried about is that pussy hidden. Okay, is that pussy hidden? That's what's most important. Y'all sitting here worried about a nigga working. Bitch, you can't work a root if the pussy ain't hidden. I ain't never seen no nigga stay in the shit ain't good, no matter how strong the root is. Okay, that's the real root. But y'all like to be in that world of imaginative mysteries and all the other medieval shit. That ain't how that shit work. Okay, nine times out of ten, Charles enjoys being a top or a bottom to Miss Netta or verse, whatever. That's what the root is. I think that Miss Netta got a big old dick and she's touching the bottom of Charles's root chakra. Okay. But I'm not entertaining nothing of magical nature because nothing feels magical about that goddamn relationship. Okay. Anybody with fucking eyes can see there ain't no root on that shit. That's why I'm not entertaining. You can look at them and you can clearly tell that those two people were meant to be together. I don't care. Subscribe to Zeus, but I watch a wee TV show of theirs just out of genuine curiosity. I don't think Netta is trans. I feel maybe intersex. Miss Netta ain't no goddamn trans. Miss Netta is a cisgender man that dresses as feminine, whatever. That's their gender expression. But Miss Netta ain't no goddamn intersex. I'm sure that Miss Netta has a dick. Miss Netta ain't got no coochie. Miss Netta ain't got no coochie. I'm pretty sure that there's somebody out there that's unfucked Miss Netta and be like, I ain't seen no coochie. Miss Netta got a hot plate. She does have a hot plate. She ain't got no hot pocket, but she got a hot plate. Okay, Miss Netta and Charles and adoption. Got a jack of. Well, y'all can't even see a card. Damn, this is crazy. Kind of see it. It's a jack of hearts. I gotta hold it like that. It's a jack of hearts there. It's a eight of. It's a seven of clubs. Five of clubs. Charles is the one that wants to have a kid. Charles is the one that wants to adopt. Charles is a more compassionate one between the two of them. He's a much, much nicer one. And Charles loves children. Charles loves animals. The other thing is that Charles enjoys taking care of people. He is a nurturer. So he's someone that, he's going to take care of the plants. He's going to clean up around the house. He's going to rub Miss Netta's lower back. He's going to take Miss Netta's dentures out. He's going to take Miss Netta's wig off and put the forehead on the mannequin, all that. But there being a 7 of clubs here, it indicates that Charles has some biased beliefs. I think that Charles might have some opinions where it's like, I don't know if Charles really wants to raise an adopted kid with another man. I think that you all would be very surprised at some of Charles's beliefs around sexuality and religion, because I do feel like Charles is still very religious. And then on top of that, we got the 5 of clubs. So this means that Charles goes back and forth in his head on whether or not he wants to really do this. So I don't know if he's that serious, because I see that. Oh, Danny Nicole. Hey, Danielle. Danielle, send me some questions about this Charles Miss Netta shit. My phone is right here in my hand. Danielle, help me out, because I ain't really got nothing. But yeah, it means that he goes back and forth with whether he really wants to do this or not. But I'm gonna tell you this: I don't really feel like Miss Netta's on board. I feel like Miss Netta's like, I don't want no motherfucking kids. I don't feel Miss Kids. 7 of hearts, 7 of diamonds, 3 of clubs. She'll do it for some money. That will really encourage her to do it. And the other thing is that she's not against adopting a child of another race. That's the other thing. So I see that she would want, Miss Netta would be open to adopting a child of another race. With Charles, again, it's a 7 of diamonds here. So they would definitely do it for money. They would do it to increase their level of celebrity. What mental illness does Miss Netta suffer from? That's what my friend Danielle just texted me. If y'all think that Miss Netta is mentally ill, if you think that Miss Netta is mentally ill, I want you to hit. If she's mentally ill, I want you to hit the, oh, fuck it, I'll come back to the emoji. Just hit a 1 if you think Miss Netta is mentally ill. Hit a 2 if you think Miss Netta is sane. Now, I think Miss Netta is sane. I know we're getting way off on the reading and shit, but hey, that's what people ask. Was Miss Netta messing with Charles when he was 15? What? Nigga, what? Anyway, I'm so thrown off. I'm trying to get back into the reader. I don't even know what the fuck to say to that question. Okay, again, it would be for money. Ace of diamonds, 10 of diamonds, 5 of diamonds. This would be them adopting a child just for the money of it. I don't see this being serious. Charles is open to it, but I also feel like Charles would like to raise the kid in a 2-parent heterosexual home. My friend Danielle says hold on. She said what? Danielle, I'm gonna give y'all the tea about my text. Danielle said, does Miss Netta prey on mentally ill men? I asked because I saw a tweet about it. Now let's look into that. Does Miss Netta prey on mentally ill men? Because it's not that I think Charles has a mental illness. I think he has a cognitive disability. I think that there's a learning issue there. Okay? The lights are on and there's no one home. Okay, you've all heard me say this before. I think Charles is a soup sandwich. I think he's as brilliant as a soup sandwich. Oh God. I cannot with that question about the 15 years old. Miss Netta Kelly. Was Miss Netta giving Charles that two? Was she giving that beat? Running her hands through his fro, bouncing on 20 foes. Maybe me. How much money has Miss Netta actually made? Okay, which one of y'all want to know about? Okay, we got two questions. Does Miss Netta prey on mentally ill men? Hit the one. If you want to know if Miss Netta preys on mentally ill men, hit the one. And if you want to know how much money Miss Netta has actually made, hit the two. Because I feel like Miss Netta's on her Nene Leak. She's a rich ass bitch and she got more money than y'all. Miss Netta, if you watching this shit, I would love for you to get a reading from me. I would love to do a reading for you. Okay. So, and Miss Netta, send me a cash app. Send me the cash app. They say Miss Netta been messing with him. I mean, shit, I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. I don't really. I mean, that whatever. I don't even know what to say to that. Will Miss Netta invest in a dermatologist? Okay, this is too much. What the fuck, yo? I cannot. I'm not even doing no fucking reading. I'm just reading off questions. Y'all doing the goddamn reading. Shit. All right, we got one and two. Okay, so the mentally slow persuasion. Okay, Miss Netta. Um, all right, so I got to set the first card I got is the seven of hearts. So Miss Netta has been hurt, something serious in relationships. She's really, really been hurt, and typically her relationships have been with people that she's been friends with. So these were people that they started as friends, and then they got into a relationship, and that person broke her heart. I also see that Miss Netta needs therapy when it comes to her relate. Who the fuck is nodding their head? I hate y'all. I feel like somebody is nodding their head right now, and they're like, "This reading is so good," and they're saying to themselves, "Yo, he is so." Why fucking get up here and do this shit? I did not take this reading seriously. I did not. Miss Netta, okay, so Miss Netta needs therapy from the relationships that she's been in. Okay. And typically, let me see the other thing that I'm seeing here. Okay, it's a nine of hearts. It's another nine. So Miss Netta. I'm sorry, y'all. This is too fucking funny. Oh shit. Oh, okay. Anyway, so yeah, Miss Netta, Lord, oh my God, this why is this shit so goddamn funny, y'all? So, so Miss Netta needs therapy from her relationships, and not only that, even though she's in this relationship with Charles, there's still trauma that she holds on to from her previous relationships. Okay, so there's a part of her that isn't. She's in love with Charles, but if Charles left her today, she ain't gonna be sick over it. Charles ain't going nowhere, but she ain't gonna be sick over it. She has developed a very thick skin due to the heartbreak that she's experienced. Now she is very romantic. She's very, very romantic, but she's not vulnerable. She doesn't want to get hurt again. Y'all can't see this card. I wish I'm gonna try to turn it in a way y'all can see it. Y'all see this face. Y'all see her face. Y'all see this resting bitch face. This is Miss Netta. This is Miss Netta towards relationships. Miss Netta is one cuss out away from being a cat lady and giving it the fuck up. Okay, this that's where she is. She's about to be a cat lady. Charles better make this work because it's not that I see Miss Netta giving up, but she can do bad all by herself. Is how I'm seeing it. And so yeah, her skin is thick, all right. Does Charles actually like Miss Netta's cooking? Danielle, all these goddamn questions on how the fuck did this turn into a real Miss Netta reading, Lord? I cannot. Oh, but does she like people of this? I don't see that she likes people of this lower persuasion. I think that Charles is her last relationship. I think that Charles not that she won't get into to a relationship after this. I think that I don't think that Miss Netta would try to get married to anybody else after this. But is she attracted to men of the slower persuasion? No, that's not it. Typically, a lot of Miss Netta's relationships have started because she has money. She has more money. She has money to give away. She has some disposable income to give away. Okay, so we're not talking about somebody that's balling. We're not talking about a millionaire or a billionaire. We're talking about somebody that's in a low country that stayed in a trailer that had an extra $300-400 and your nigga needed 15. Okay, that's the disposable income. Okay, the next thing that I'm seeing is Miss Netta has also been in relationships where the she's been the other man in the relationship, and the person has not she's not always been in a 100%. It hasn't always been monogamous. Okay, I don't think that she's above being the other man. If you know I don't know if she's been Deborah Cox or Whitney Houston, but bitch, it's been the same script, it's a different cast. I think at this point in time, Charles ain't got nobody. Okay, she is the in that person's relationship. Okay. Oh, hey Monte Mop Young, how you doing? All right. And then there's the Queen of Clubs here. Miss Netta knows everything. Miss Netta go through them phones. Miss Netta go through them DMs. Okay. Miss Netta checked the bottom of his shoes. Miss Netta smelled them drawers. Ain't a goddamn thing gonna get past Miss Netta. That bitch can see. She know everything. If y'all are enjoying this reading, hit the skull emoji. I feel like I feel Montrese. Montrese. Well, thank you because it's so hard for me to take this reading seriously right now. I'm trying. Does Charles like Miss Netta's cooking? Why in the fuck did y'all set me up for this dumb shit? I hate everybody. I hate all of y'all. Why would y'all do this? How many people I got on live? Lord have mercy. I cannot. This Charles like Miss Netta's cooking. Oh. Oh, this Charles like Miss Netta's cooking. 7 of diamonds. 6 of diamonds. 10 of spades. Charles says Charles understands the assignment. That 7 of diamonds is saying that I think that Charles has always found her cooking to be pleasant. Okay. And I think that he, in the past, since they made money, he has exaggerated the amount of pleasure that he derives from her food. Her food ain't mid. He enjoys it. He does enjoy her cooking. That 6 of diamonds being here is saying that he would like the thing is this, like, Charles is really loyal. So if they're at a restaurant and the food is exceptionally good, Charles is gonna let Miss Netta know the food is exceptionally good, but Charles is gonna be like, "Baby, we chose a good spot." Like, Charles is all about being enamored with Miss Netta, and Charles is going to raise up and praise up Miss Netta. So Charles is smart enough to know I'm not gonna compare this food to what my woman to what my dude be cooking. I'm not gonna compare this to what my nigga be cooking. But Charles is gonna sit here and say, but baby, we chose a good restaurant together. We always choose some good spots. We be having fun. Charles is going to emphasize the adventure, the effervescence that comes from just eating together. Charles is emphasizing fellowship with each other. Charles is not contextualizing things to speak specifically about the food. But I also don't get Miss Netta is territorial about where her man eats either. There's a perception around it that Miss Netta leans into, but I think she'd give a fuck less if Charles liked somebody else's food more than hers. That 10 of spades is Charles recognizes the energetic expenditures that Miss Netta puts behind her cooking. And Miss Netta cooks with love. And that's what Charles cares about most. Charles can taste the love in the food. Y'all ain't shit. Why in the fuck are y'all saying this type of shit? And y'all know I'm trying to do this reading. Y'all ain't shit. And I cannot, Oshun, with you putting these goddamn captions up under here. Bitch, I'm trying not to look down because every time I motherfucking do, I get distracted. Who the fuck is producing this right now? Oh, we deserve an Emmy for tonight. We deserve hey, tonight's been the funniest. We deserve a fucking Emmy, okay? 5 of hearts, 2 of clubs, 2 of diamonds. Miss Netta has threatened to stop cooking for Charles as a form of punishment. Charles can't cook. Charles cannot cook, and Charles don't like to cook. Miss Netta has withheld meals from Charles. She ain't withheld that pussy. She ain't withheld that. But she has had to put Charles in his place because he got out of line and she didn't slave over that stove. But Miss Netta likes to cook. Miss Netta likes to cook 3 meals a day, and Charles likes to eat. Charles likes to eat out of love. Oh shit. Oh my God. Let me see what else. Y'all hit the sunflower for Danielle. Hit the sunflower for Danielle. She's a child of Oshun. Danielle is literally helping me right now. Prior to her going viral, how did Miss Netta make her money? What do Charles's ancestors think of Miss Netta? This I cannot. I can fucking not. I cannot. What does Charles find physically attractive about Miss Netta? Is Miss Netta happy with the results of her plastic surgery? Shit. I cannot. Danielle, I'm gonna ask one of these questions and what do Charles's ancestors think of Miss Netta? Looking at that. What do Charles's ancestors think of Miss Netta? What do Charles's ancestors think of Miss Netta? I mean, what do y'all think of Miss Netta? If if Charles was your descendant, would you approve of that relationship? Danielle, I'm not looking at my phone. I'm not looking at my phone. She just sent me something else. What do Charles's I just pulled 2 cards. King of Spades and the 8 of Diamonds. Okay, so the King of Spades is a card of humility. So they're saying that Charles needs to play it smart and be as humble as possible in this relationship. They're saying that Charles needs to listen when she speaks. Charles needs to follow when she leads. Charles needs to pick up on the clues. It's like Miss Netta pleasing Miss Netta is obvious. It's kind of like she leaves these overtly obvious cues in where you're supposed to fill in the gaps. Miss Netta is the sort of person she gets, Miss Netta, Charles gets out the car. Miss Netta unlocks her door and she sits in the car and she waits for Charles to open her door. So it's like there are going to be these hugely obvious ways in which Miss Netta's love style is loud, that his ancestors are saying that he needs to pay very careful attention, because they're saying that he can rise to power because of this relationship. The King of Spades is the most powerful card in the deck, so they're saying that Miss Netta, that by being obedient to the conditions that the relationship is putting him under, that he will rise to power, a power that he's not able to achieve on his own. Um, if that makes sense. There's a 10 of diamonds, no, an 8 of diamonds here. The 8 of diamonds is the card of fame. So they see that there is fame in this relationship. Will this relationship end up in a marriage? I'm getting off of here. I'm getting off. Ooh, we y'all and these questions. Are they gonna get married? Right. While I'm in the middle of the fucking reading, bitch, I'm getting distracted. The 8 of diamonds is saying that there's a level of fame that he can access in this relationship. And not only that, he that by being humble, he increases his buying power. By being silent, he increases his buying power, meaning that he will have more money by being quiet. A 6 of spades here. They have a karmic relationship. So they share a past life together. Let's see why they share a past life together. Jack of Hearts. This Jack of Hearts for a past life relationship means that a sacrifice was made. So this means that this could either mean one of two things. This means that Charles and Netta were in a relationship in the past, but one of them was murdered due to them being in the relationship. This was a form of sacrifice, and it's like they wanted to be together. They were very brazen about the relationship. People did not appreciate them being together, and one person was murdered. The other meaning that can be drawn from the Jack of Hearts being in a past life, them sharing a past life together. This means that they that one of them that essentially one of them was unwilling to sacrifice their reputation by making the relationship public. That they maybe Netta was a mistress, and Charles didn't want to come out and say, "Hey, this is my mistress," in the past, but they do have unfinished business together. A 9 of diamonds, a 10 of spades, and a 4 of hearts. The 9 of diamonds is saying that without this relationship, Charles puts himself in a position where he loses, like he's at a financial loss. But he can only be at a financial loss, like he can only lose if he's too arrogant. Because that is not, if he starts getting too big for his britches, then it's like Miss Netta may not feel that she needs Charles anymore. That's the thing. Miss Netta has a lot of money. Miss Netta feels that they can get a man at any point in time now that they got some money, and Miss Netta can bounce back. Miss Netta absolutely can. Miss Netta can get a man. I can't get a man. Shit, Miss Netta can. Um, this 10 of spades here is saying that their Charles's ancestors have worked overtime to reunite him with Miss Netta. Okay, so this is an orchestrated relationship, and this 4 of hearts here means that they Miss Netta's ancestors see Miss Netta as Charles's ancestors see Miss Netta as family. So they are spiritually married to each other in a way. Like there's a relationship there. I told you Joe Netta been messing with him since he was 15. That's crazy. Charles said it a long time ago to be like that. Yes, I'm trying to tell y'all. I'm not touching that. And movies with Susie, the only thing I can say to you is when you put those types of things out there, just make sure that you can back it up, because I ain't touching that. I ain't got nothing to say about that. I hope that Miss Netta did not do that. That just sounds completely diabolical and out of line. But I think that if there is evidence of it, people would come out and say something. I think like with R. Kelly, like folks was literally saying, I know people I can call somebody that's from Chicago right now, and they will say that they knew about R. Kelly sitting outside of schools. Now, Miss Netta and Charles, her messing with him. Let's see, Charles is like what, a year younger than me? No, Charles is a year older than me. So Miss Netta was messing with him like 16 years ago. I mean, what? And if they live in California, I don't know. I think I think it may have been legal because here in Georgia it's legal. If you're 16, you can sleep with anybody. If they're 16, you can sleep with them. Y'all didn't watch the Auntie podcast. You, I guess you're repeating what Tia Kemp and them said. Y'all don't be on TikTok. I'll be in the real world. That's what I can say. I'll be in the real world. I cannot go off of rumors. I'm not doing readings on rumors. Y'all know this channel ain't never been about that shit. I don't do readings on rumors. Cause bitch, ain't nobody finna do no fucking room. I don't want a rumor being spread around about me and people assuming that it's real, and then they start doing a reading on the potential reality of that. I can't do that. I'm not lying. They in the same, but I have seen her and Tia Kemp and Kaya going back and forth. I purposely say, I'm just telling y'all, what it sounds like is there are people alleging that Miss Netta was messing with Charles when I don't even like repeating this shit. There are people alleging some nasty shit. And this person on YouTube is saying that this is factual. I think it's a fact that other people are saying this about them. That now other people say it, but I don't know if that's a fact that this happened. I don't even want to do a reading on it. There ain't no evidence of it. I'm not putting that out there into the ethers about that person. Even if the reading says it's untrue, I do not want that stigma. I do not want that sexual predator stigma attached to these people based out of some rumors. Tia asked how long was he with Miss Netta, and Charles said it took him a long time for him to do that. But that doesn't indicate anything. A long time could be 8 years. And that still puts, I'm not doing this. Hey, you know what? Who got the last question? I can't, my spirit can't do it. I try to be diplomatic, and I really try to entertain. When people play devil's advocate, I'm trying to find the compassion in it, but my spirit, it's not sitting right in my spirit. And I gotta say this. This feels like a rumor. This feels like if I look back at it, there's nothing that indicates that Charles was saying that Miss Netta's a sexual predator. Something in my spirit is telling me that Miss Netta did not mess with this boy at 15 years old, that this person is misinformed. They want some gossip, and I'm not participating in it. That's just what I feel. I feel that I'm going off what I feel. So I'm telling y'all that's my answer to it. If you want somebody to do a reading, and O'Shawn, do not do that damn reading on my channel. Take my channel off if you do that reading. Stop streaming on my channel on Black Spectrum Network if you do that. But in my spirit, I don't feel like it's true. I'm telling y'all, I don't feel like that's true. And this feels like the person that's putting this in the chat, I don't feel like they know how to deal with the intellectual distinction of somebody saying a long time versus 20 years ago, I got with them. That's just it. What are Miss Netta's next moves? What goals does she have for herself? And I'm closing it out. Miss Netta wants to have a talk show. A tour of clubs. Miss Netta shows up as the king of diamonds. For her to be so feminine, she don't. It's like this is the thing. Miss Netta sees herself as feminine, but the spirit sees her as masculine because she shows up as the king of diamonds. But I see a talk show, or I see some sort of talk show happening for Miss Netta. I don't immediately see reality television. I see her investing into some sort of talk show, maybe even her own podcast. Okay. But I see interviews, and I'm not sure if it's her interviewing or people interviewing her, but I see her with the microphone and I see talking conversation. Okay, that's what I see is next for Miss Netta, and I see that she will make a lot of money doing it. Um, there's a four of diamonds, a six of hearts, and a 10 of spades. Um, she's about to acquire a new home. Like that's what I do see. As far and the other thing with Miss Netta's finances, she needs to pay. She needs to pay her debts off. Miss Netta still doesn't have. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter how much money you have. It takes a while to build good credit. Like even if you're rich as fuck, like you're trying to fix your credit, it can still, it still takes time. But Miss Netta doesn't have good credit right now. Miss Netta doesn't have good credit right now. And even though she has money, she spends her money on pleasures, like luxurious things. So um I think that this may be her first house that she's buying. Um, but yeah, that's it. I see a house, I see a talk show. Other than that, I don't really see important moves in her career. I honestly think that this her doing the social media influencing thing, I think that's where it's going to stabilize. It's doing the social media thing, maybe a podcast or doing some sort of interviews on a TV show. Um, the other thing is this. But I also see this. I see a relationship, sorry, a reality television show would ruin her relationship because I got the ace of spades, nine of spades, and the two of hearts. It looks like Charles would have another secret relationship would arise. Charles would attach himself to someone else, and it would be private, and it's gonna play out on camera. That's what I see. All right. So that being said, I'm getting up off of here. I'm gonna toss the torch over to Oshun from K because I have some work to do for some clients in DC, and I also need to eat. But I will be listening, and I will pop back in Oshun from K. And I also want to end by saying this, Miss Netta, if you're watching this, or Miss Netta's fans, I know that this shit I could not take this. It was so goddamn funny and all the other stuff, but that's just Miss Netta's brand. That's the impact that it has on me. Miss Netta, I don't know what the fuck your name is behind in real life. Seeing people say John and whatever the fuck your name is. You're doing a great job at entertaining, and you're doing wonderful work. I think that you're doing God's work by putting LGBTQ rep, like people on the map. I think that you're doing phenomenal work in terms of putting ugly ass people on the map that look like you too. And you are quite entertaining for whatever reason. And just keep doing you. Um, and I don't believe that you was messing with Charles when he was 15. That's just me personally, and that's my official statement on it. We can't hear you, but you look good, Osho.
Thank you. Thank you, Hugon. Okay. All right, everybody. So hopefully Hugon wets your whistles with and satisfy some of your curiosity for the mundane or the physical aspects of what's going on with Charles and Netta. So I'm going to do something a little bit different than what Hugon did, and I am going to lean into the spiritual aspects of what's going on with Netta. But I'm not, like Hugon said, I'm not looking into whether or not Netta has a root on Charles. None of that matters. And like Hugon said, it's obvious to me that there is definitely something that's more um, voluntary happening with those two. So um, the first question I want to ask, and I'm going to use my bone board. I'm going to put that on the screen here. Well, actually, I'll wait until I do the throw. But I'm going to use my bone board. If you guys have ever watched me read, then you know that I use a collection of charms, stones, bones, and crystals, and a wooden board to read energy around a particular matter. And the subject matter tonight is Miss Netta and Charles. So I want to know, what is it that we need to know about this phenomenon that is Charles and Netta? You would never expect two people who have questionable swiftness to rise to such fame and prominence from a trailer in Alabama. But we're witnessing it. It's happening right before us. Netta is on every platform, dominating right now. So what do we need to know about the success of Miss Netta? All right, let's okay. So first thing I see is that Miss Netta's success has been transformed. This is actually very serendipitous. Um, Miss Netta was not supposed to have this success. It wasn't promised to her. Um, and it was transformed by a series of, I think, decisions that Miss Netta made along the way that properly positioned her to enjoy or this experience this win, literally. Okay, here we have an interruption of destiny, and we have our tiger's eye upside down. So this was not created. The timeline of her destiny was the timeline that represents Miss Netta's destiny didn't change. Okay, however, like I said, there was a series of decisions that Miss Netta made that made what we're watching happen, or created the roads, open the roads for that to happen. So so Netta was always very much focused on relationships, on love. I think that Netta had a very difficult past, and it's not hard to imagine. I said early, I respect about Miss Netta is the fact that they are so authentic in the way that they live and the way that they present themselves. And it looks like Netta had, with this pink quartz, this self-love stone over destiny. It's talking about Netta having a difficult relationship with loving other people, loving her the way she loved herself. Netta is a pioneer for self-expression. Netta's older than I am and was doing this at a time where, you know, they called people like Netta cross dressers and other derogatory terms. And Miss Netta actually found the courage to walk in their truth and love themselves. This also presented challenges, though, because Netta had a difficult time experiencing romantic love. Okay. So I think that what we're seeing, and we're picking up on there being some difficulties in her relationship with Charles, but I think that what we're seeing is Netta trying to stick it out and be present and available in the relationship in spite of Charles's youth and Charles's flakiness. And I do believe that to be true. Let me show you why, what I'm seeing here. This snowflake jasper and this heart here. Okay. It's a little bit different than Netta when it comes to the relationship. Charles feels differently than Netta does. Netta's a little bit more serious. Netta's older. Netta is has resigned herself to being in the relationship, whereas Charles may be a little bit flighty just because there are some things that haven't come to the surface, because that's what this tile is talking about. So Charles still has some growing to do, but Charles absolutely does love Netta. So the relationship is real. They're not faking it. The relationship is real. I just think that because of their age and how they are, if you will, emotionally and spiritually, there's a little bit of a difference there. So what do we need to know about Netta's success? Let's look a little bit deeper. Netta's learning a lot. Netta is learning a lot in this season. And that is why she's able to ride this wave. Remember, I said that this success has been created by a series of decisions and good choices that Miss Netta made. So Netta is at a place in learning from things. where Netta is experiencing things and learning from the things that she's experiencing, and that's allowing her to make good decisions. So if it means that Netta has to get online and argue with Tia Kemp and take a few blows just to get those numbers up, Netta's willing to do that. If it means that Netta has to show up to a party with a crooked wig looking a hot mess, Netta's going to do that because Netta has learned that that's the way that they need, the type of moves that they need to make in order to be successful. Netta's learning from this success. I see here, let me show you. So Netta's going through a period of time right now. This is the present that I'm seeing, where Netta's a little bit disillusioned. Netta is getting kind of tired of the limelight. This is more than Netta ever really wanted to experience. But Netta's enjoying the money. The money is good. And Netta has decided that they are going to stick it out and ride this wave. So we are going to be from Miss Netta in the future, whether it's in terms of staying in entertainment or coming out with a product line or something of that nature. Netta is still going to be, she's going to be riding this wave of success wherever it leads her. And Netta is an excellent student of experience. So I think that she's going to figure it out. Even me looking at Netta's success, I've said to myself, there's a lot of opportunity for Netta to come out with, an apron line, for example, or some seasoning, a cookbook, things of that nature. I think Netta needs to spend some time, and this is me talking now, not the board, but I think Miss Netta needs to spend some time cultivating her brand, okay? But I think that if Miss Netta does that, from what I'm seeing here on this board, Miss Netta can continue to ride this wave of success. The other thing, Netta prayed for money, and Miss Netta wished for things to change, not necessarily for her to become famous. Netta had one of those, prayers that we pray when we're little girls, like, Lord, please let me be famous one day. But I think Netta said, I want to make more money. I want to experience something different. And this that Netta is experiencing represents her wishes. Now, that's very different from prayers, y'all. This represents her wishes, things that she had hoped to experience, positioning herself and aligning herself with those things, going to parties, opening up, for parties, being popular and in the place to be. These are all things that Netta wished for, which are not necessarily business decisions. That's how, hopefully, you understand what I'm talking about. So Netta didn't necessarily pray to dominate any particular industry or space. Rather, Netta wanted to experience certain things. Netta wanted to experience certain things and be like, I'm feeling like she wanted to be in the place to be. So I think that what we're seeing from Miss Netta right now is Netta living out some childhood traumas, okay? Living out some childhood traumas, righting some wrongs, kind of like an I told you so kind of moment, okay? Netta's having the opportunity to laugh at her haters, to say, you thought I couldn't, you thought I never would. This is all about wishes that Miss Netta had that came true. Here, Spirit is saying, listen, we don't need to meditate on Miss Netta's success too much, almost like it's not our business. It's going to cost us money. We need to be getting to our own bag. We need to not focus on Miss Netta's success. We need to focus on our own success and getting successful in our own right. Ashe, that resonates with me. But yeah, really, Spirit is saying here, listen, Netta's destiny is their own. What Miss Netta eat don't make you shit. Mind your own business. That's what you need to know about this lady's success. Over here, over questions, Spirit is really kind of not entertained in this reading at this point, because they're saying, these questions don't have a long life. While this may be entertaining, the value that's going to come out of this reading and out of these questions are not going to be huge for you. unless, let's keep going. Maybe there are some things that we can grab a hold of. Um, okay, Hugon mentioned earlier something about a child, them possibly adopting a child, and I see that here. And I think that that possibility, I think that they actually will. I think that they will adopt a child, and I think that through that adoption, Netta is probably going to position herself to be um, something related to children. I see that being kind of like a phase two of the Charles and Netta show. If Netta doesn't adopt a child, then watch out for a storyline about them attempting to. Okay, watch out for a storyline about them attempting to adopt or something of that nature.
Yeah, I have to interrupt because you keep removing yourself from the stream and you're cutting out your sound. Don't do that.
Oh,
That's why I keep putting it back.
thank you. I was just trying to make the view good. Sorry. So, yikes. How much did you miss?
I've been fixing it every time, so it's
Okay,
fine. But
thank you. All right. Thank you for telling me. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm not going to touch it. Okay. So don't be surprised if there's a storyline, y'all, that emerges where Miss Netta and Charles are looking into adoption, looking into having something having to do with expanding their family. Spirit is saying that that is definitely a possibility, and that if they do it, they will win with it because I get the boars too. Okay, so that's interesting. Um, Netta's wearing a blindfold, y'all. If you can see here on the board, I get the fishbone over the blindfold. What is that saying? That's saying Netta's going with the flow. That's saying that y'all don't really see the real Netta. That's saying that Netta doesn't really care what you guys think about her. That's saying that Netta is here for for the money, for the moment and the money. So Netta is not really as caught up in these insults and this, cancellation plot that people have against them as much as everybody may think. Netta really is going with the flow. And earlier, I hate to repeat what was said earlier, but it's like Netta has thick skin. Netta really does have thick skin and is really not interested in what people think about Netta. Um Netta's looking for opportunity. The original question, if I go back to the original question, which was, what do we need to take up about Netta's success? What do we need to know? And it's about work ethic. Netta has created pathways that lead to success. And so we need to think about the same thing. Netta has created these opportunities. By being a hot mess, sometimes Netta has created roads that she has paved with her own footsteps that lead to her money, okay, to her opportunities. Um, I guess Netta is a pioneer, which is something that I actually do believe myself. Um, so there is an aspect of Netta's success that is ordained because I have the ancestral stone here, but it's not necessarily, it wasn't meant to necessarily be through social media. So Netta was ordained to be successful. That is part of their spiritual inheritance. But this social media frenzy is just, again, based on Netta being in the right place at the right time and decisions that Netta made. So the message here is to pay attention to your destiny and pay attention to your ancestral treasury and make sure that you're tapping in a way that's going to be most beneficial to you and in your walk. Netta is not a fool. Okay, this is the third eye. I got hematite over the third eye. I got the anchor over the third eye. Y'all, I got the other piece of the wishbone over the third eye, and I got another piece of fishbone over the third eye. What does that mean? That means that Netta ain't no fool. That means that Netta sees exactly what is happening and Netta sees exactly where she is going, y'all. This is not happening to Netta by surprise. Netta is getting some of what Netta is experiencing. Miss Netta is wishing for. I go back to that beef with Tia Kemp and a lot of these explosions that we see Miss Netta being involved in it, falling out with people, and it being, all this publicity around it. Every shut eye ain't sleep, y'all. Miss Netta is not a fool. She knows exactly what she's doing. She doesn't care what people think about her. That was indicated over here in this part of the reading already. Miss Netta doesn't care what people are thinking about her. So Miss Netta sees the effects of these moments and is perfectly okay with them. So what's the message for us who are asking, what do we need to know about Miss Netta's success? Go with the flow. Learn from what you see. Don't be held down or anchored by what's happening right now. Be anchored in what you want. And don't fight, don't resist. Go with the flow like the fish. Go with the flow of the river until you reach your destiny. That is literally what these charms are saying if I'm picking them apart and reading them like a sentence, okay? What else do I see here? Okay, again, over the river. Miss Netta got a lot of water in this particular chart. What I'm seeing here is that if Miss Netta was a little bit more aware spiritually about what's happening and how the energy is collecting and manifesting around her, then she would be a little bit more powerful. It would fix those little things that still remain that she doesn't have control over. But it looks like the possibility for her to learn this is open. I wouldn't be surprised if Miss Netta did start to have some spiritual experiences, absolutely. But if Miss Netta, didn't take up the offer of one or more spiritualists who are trying to approach her. I mean, I know what happens. Y'all know what happens on our platforms. The people that slide in your DMs because they see you in the Facebook group. The people that approach you because they think you're a spiritual person. That same thing is happening to Miss Netta. Miss Netta is getting contacted. I would not be surprised if Miss Netta did not start to delve into the craft, maybe not as a practitioner, but taking the advice and receiving the help. Because it's going to allow her to be more powerful, to express herself in a more powerful way, to get a better handle. So listen, what that's going to do if Miss Netta starts to embrace the spiritual aspects of what she's experiencing, is going to look less chaotic. So these moments where, she's on live, going off on somebody, screaming at the top of her lungs, calling people ugly and all of that kind of stuff, it would be less chaotic, okay, than that. Netta would be coming from a more powerful place. So what's the message for us? The message is to understand, to learn to read the energy around you, to make necessary investments. That's what this quarter is talking about. To make necessary investments in your spiritual work or in spiritual work so that you can experience the fix, okay? Experience the repair that's necessary to the energy around you so that you can move forward in the most powerful way. That's really like what that's saying for us, okay? Okay, Miss Netta is not being so good with their money. And Miss Netta is being financially abused. Y'all see this right here? Let me show you right here. You see the person with the foot on somebody's neck? And then I got a coin right here. Okay, so what is that talking about? That is saying that Miss Netta is being financially abused, that people are taking money from Miss Netta, that Miss Netta is being asked for money, that Miss Netta is spending money in a way that's not the most beneficial for Miss Netta. Miss Netta is being financially abused. You can put the camera back on me, Omoware. Miss Netta is being financially abused. Why is that significant? Let's talk a little bit about where Miss Netta is coming from. Okay, Miss Netta is coming from a rural area in Alabama, living in a trailer. okay, where folks get disability checks and have kitchen gardens, okay. And now Miss Netta's making money. That's obvious. Miss Netta's making money. Miss Netta's getting free hairdos and makeup and outfits and all kinds of stuff. And people have their hand out. And Miss Netta doesn't exactly know how to say no. Okay. And so Netta's being financially abused by folks from the crib. That spiritual work is going to help her clear through that, though, and see more clearly. Actually, if you look here, I have clear sight over the heart chakra. Okay, so Miss Netta needs to still be compassionate, still lead with her heart, but allow her heart to help her lead with love so that while seeing clearly, basically. Okay. So because someone helped you back in the day, because someone is a person that you grew up with. So now I'm switching the messages for us, right? Because someone is a homegirl or a homeboy, somebody that you grew up with, somebody that you knew from back in the day, you may have a heart for them. They may understand you and vice versa. You don't have to give them your money when you experience success. You don't have to make every loan that you're propositioned with. You don't have to share every check that you get. Lead with your heart, but have a clear head and clear sight when doing so. Okay. There's actually a lot going on with these chakras. Okay. Over the throat. And if y'all have paid any attention to what's been going on, y'all have seen what I see. We've been talking about the explosive nature of some of these conversations that Miss Netta has had online. And I see it in two places, right here and right here. And this is talking about Miss Netta needing medicine for anger to perfect her speech. Okay. Miss Netta needs to perfect her speech. When Miss Netta is angry, Miss Netta's speech is not impeccable. Okay. Miss Netta is not only not behaving probably in the most ladylike fashion, but Miss Netta is not even saying things that are true or that are helpful or useful to anybody. And Miss Netta needs medicine for that. If you look here, you'll see my medicine bowl is what is lit up here with the anger stone. Miss Netta actually needs medicine to help her. So what is this saying to me? It's saying that if Miss Netta could get this aspect under control, it would be a lot more profitable. She could still be a media, have these media, this media frenzy, and she could still even have conflict with people. But as it said up here at the top of the board, she would come from a place that's a little bit more powerful. And so therefore it's going to be beneficial to her. And so what does that mean for us? Anger is always a poor advisor. Okay. Put some honey under your tongue before you speak. If you are having any heightened emotion, particularly anger. Okay. This is not a fight for Miss Netta. Okay. She's not sweating. Miss Netta is doing this kind of effortlessly. Okay. The ancestors are saying no, she's not fighting. She's not fighting for her life. She's not in danger of losing anything. She's not barely hanging on. They're talking about Miss Netta being canceled. That's not true. Miss Netta is cool as a cucumber, but they told us right here that she was wearing a mask and that this stuff was not nearly affecting Miss Netta nearly as bad as it might appear to be. And I think that is all that I see on this throw. So if I sum this up, really, you guys, what do we need to know about Miss Netta's success? We need to know that her ancestral treasury provides for Miss Netta to experience success. This particular form of success, the social aspects of it, the social media aspects of it, the foolery and fuckery of it all, that is not what was intended for Miss Netta, but is permissible as a part of her destiny. Miss Netta properly positioned herself to experience these moments and continues to do so. Miss Netta is a student. Okay. I got my soda light here, student stone. Miss Netta is a student, and Miss Netta learns from everything that they experience. So Miss Netta is learning as she goes. And y'all, we have not heard the last of Miss Netta and Charles. Charles really does love Miss Netta, y'all, but he may be in a little bit of a different place than she is. And I think that has more to do with his age than anything else. But I think that they are a real couple. I think that they really are together. And I don't think we've heard the last from them. Does anybody have any questions about Miss Netta at this time? I'll take a few questions. I have my cards here, and I'm going to just do a one card pull on the questions that y'all asked rather than go into a whole nother 20-minute bone reading. If anybody has any questions. Let me see, did I miss anything? All right. Well, if nobody had, why is she mad at Black women? Okay. So I prefer to ask the question like, what do we need to know about Netta's relationship to Black women? Now, I have my own theories, but I'm gonna let the cards speak. Okay. And I'm just gonna pull this first card. And what is it? Oh, y'all, that's the Mother card, Queen of Hearts, and it's upside down. Netta has been had a bad relationship with Black women. Netta has not had a good relationship with Black women since way back when. Okay, this is the Mother card, and it's upside down. Miss Netta's been struggling with relationships with Black women since her relationship with her own mother. Okay, that is what the cards are saying. And I'm not going to get too deep into that because this is more about Miss Netta's success and this social media frenzy. I do not want to get into a deep reading about Miss Netta's family structure and her experience in childhood. I just, out of respect, I'm not going to do that tonight. I saw another question. Aoife Pomile, can you show me or go back to something you had put up there? It was a question about, it may have been something about Black women again, but I did see something else. Hmm. How about love and relationships? I need a little bit of clarification. Love and relationships between Charles and Miss Netta in the future. What do we? Somebody fix that question up for me. All right, you guys. Well, I hope you have enjoyed the reading this evening. It was fun. Hugon, are you there? I was going to give Hugon an opportunity to come back and say goodnight. Thank you guys so much for joining us. This was a little bit of a guilty pleasure. Y'all know I don't typically do readings like this, but I have a lot of respect for Miss Netta. And I am very much excited to see what else we're going to see from Miss Netta besides Charles's lunch being ready. Thank you for joining me. And Until we meet again, may the ancestors watch between me and thee.